ghost of Bloomingdale. Welcome back to Silent Witness. Tonight, we delve into a case that has woven a tangled web of tragedy and conspiracy, a death in the early morning, stillness that continues to echo through the halls of political intrigue and the quiet streets of a Washington, D.C. neighborhood. This is the story of Seth Rich. July 10th, 2016. The humid pre-dawn air hung heavy over Bloomingdale, a historic residential pocket of the nation's capital. As the first hints of sunlight began to paint the sky, a chilling sound pierced the quiet, the sharp crack of gunfire. Moments later, at the intersection of Flagler Place and W Street Northwest, police would find him. Seth Rich, just 27 years old, a young man dedicated to the intricate world of data, lying wounded on the pavement. He was alive when they found him, clinging to the fading moments, 2 bullets lodged in his back. Witnesses in the area recalled nothing definitive, just the unsettling silence broken by those fatal shots. His wallet was still in his pocket, his credit cards untouched. His watch remained on his wrist. The initial assessment pointed to a robbery gone wrong, a senseless act of violence in the urban shadows. But as the hours bled into days, a disquiet began to settle over the narrative. Seth Rich wasn't just any young man. He was the data director for the Democratic National Committee, a cog in the machinery of a high-stakes presidential election. And in the charged atmosphere of 2016, his death became fertile ground for something far more sinister than a random street crime. His mother, Mary Rich, spoke of bruises on his hands, his knees, his face. Signs of a struggle that seemed to contradict a simple mugging. Had he fought back? Had he known his attacker? The questions hung heavy in the air, unanswered by the official narrative. Surveillance footage offered only fleeting glimpses. The lower legs of 2 shadowy figures. Phantoms in the early morning gloom. They offered no faces, no identities, only more questions and the growing darkness surrounding Seth's final moments. Then came the whispers, insidious tendrils creeping through the digital landscape. Whispers of leaked emails, of political secrets, of a motive far more complex and dangerous than a robbery. The narrative shifted, morphing into a shadowy tale of betrayal and silencing. Julian Assange, the enigmatic figure behind WikiLeaks, added fuel to the fire with cryptic pronouncements, never directly naming Seth, but planting seeds of doubt in the public consciousness. Suddenly, Seth Rich wasn't just a victim of a crime. He became a central figure in a sprawling conspiracy theory. A theory that painted his death as a politically motivated assassination, a brutal act to silence him for alleged involvement in the very leaks that were shaking the foundations of American politics. The official investigations by the D.C. Metropolitan Police and later with some level of FBI involvement found no evidence to support these claims. The intelligence community's assessment pointed towards Russian hackers as the source of the DNC email leaks, a timeline that didn't align with the conspiracy theories surrounding Seth's death. Yet, the whispers persisted, amplified by partisan fervor and the relentless churn of the internet. For Seth's family, the relentless speculation became a torment, an unbearable weight added to their grief. They pleaded for the conspiracy theories to stop, for their son to be remembered as the bright, dedicated young man he was, not as a pawn in a political game. They saw their tragedy twisted, their pain weaponized. The pain of the Rich family led them to take legal action, suing media outlets that peddled these false narratives. A settlement was eventually reached with Fox News, a tacit acknowledgement of the harm inflicted. But the truth of what happened on that quiet street in Bloomingdale remains elusive, shrouded in the lingering shadows of unanswered questions. Today, years have passed, the headlines have faded, the fever pitch of the conspiracy theories has cooled somewhat, but Seth Rich's murder remains unsolved, a young life extinguished in the pre-dawn, leaving behind a void and a chilling silence. The ghost of Bloomingdale still whispers its secrets, unheard by those who hold the answers. Someone out there knows something, A detail overlooked, a hushed conversation overheard, a fleeting glimpse in the early morning light. If you lived in the Bloomingdale area in July 2016, if you remember anything unusual, anything that seemed out of place, please come forward. The smallest piece of information, however insignificant it may seem, could be the key to unlocking this tragic mystery and finally bringing some semblance of peace to Seth Rich's family. The Metropolitan Police Department still has an open investigation. You can contact their homicide branch with any information you may have. Don't let the silence continue to protect the unknown. Be the silent witness who finally speaks.